What was the significance of the Perry expedition? The Perry expedition, 1853 to 1854, led by Commodore Matthew Perry, was a pivotal moment in world history that reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the 19th century. This U.S. naval mission to Japan, backed by the looming presence of military power, forced the traditionally isolationist nation to open its ports to international trade. It was a catalyst for transformative change in Japan, setting the stage for its modernization and emergence as a global power. Before Perry's arrival, Japan had followed a policy of sakoku, or national seclusion, for over 2 centuries. This policy restricted foreign contact and trade to a limited number of Dutch and Chinese merchants in Nagasaki. The Japanese shogunate, led by the Tokugawa family, maintained strict control over the nation's borders, fearing the influence of Western ideas and Christianity. However, the increasing presence of Western powers in Asia, coupled with the rise of U.S. commercial interests in the Pacific, made Japan's isolation untenable. In 1853, Commodore Perry arrived in Edo Bay, modern-day Tokyo Bay, with a fleet of 4 black ships, so called because of their dark hulls and the smoke from their coal-powered engines. His arrival was an unprecedented and intimidating display of Western military might. Perry delivered a letter from U.S. President Millard Fillmore, requesting that Japan open its ports for trade, offer safe harbor for American ships, and establish diplomatic relations. He left after delivering the letter, vowing to return with a larger fleet if Japan did not comply. When Perry returned in 1854 with an even larger fleet, the Japanese shogunate, recognizing their military inferiority, agreed to negotiate. This led to the signing of the Convention of Kanagawa, Japan's first treaty with a Western power. The treaty opened 2 ports, Shimoda and Hakodate, for American ships, granted favorable treatment to shipwrecked sailors, and established a U.S. consulate in Japan. While the treaty was relatively limited in scope, it marked the end of Japan's isolation and the beginning of its integration into the global system. The significance of the Perry expedition extended far beyond the treaty itself. Domestically, it exposed the weaknesses of the Tokugawa shogunate, fueling internal dissent and accelerating the decline of its authority. Within 15 years of Perry's arrival, the Tokugawa regime collapsed and the Meiji Restoration of 1868 began. Under Emperor Meiji, Japan rapidly industrialized, adopted Western technology and governance models, and restructured its economy and military. This transformation positioned Japan as a major global power by the early 20th century. Internationally, the Perry expedition was a harbinger of Western imperialism in Asia. The United States, followed by other Western nations, negotiated similar treaties with Japan, often on unequal terms. This opened the door for a broader wave of Western influence in East Asia, fundamentally altering the balance of power in the region. Japan's forced opening also highlighted the global reach of the Industrial Revolution and the era of gunboat diplomacy, where military power was used to achieve economic and political goals. The Perry expedition had lasting cultural and historical impacts as well. It introduced Japan to Western ideas, technology, and goods, sparking curiosity and a desire to compete on equal footing with the West. Conversely, it piqued Western fascination with Japanese art and culture, influencing movements like Japanism in Europe. These exchanges enriched both Japan and the broader world, fostering a unique blend of Eastern and Western influences.